INFJs are one of the rarest and kindest personality types, but there's still some things that might get you on their bad side. So let's get into it. INFJs certainly have some triggers that might make them dislike you more. One thing you could do and one thing you shouldn't do if you don't want to make them dislike you is act as their duelist pair. So act as an ESTP. This means act in a way that kind of triggers all of the INFJ cognitive functions. It'll kind of work in a reverse order, and this will really upset them. So for example, an ESTP's first function is SE in their hero, which means obligate them, tell them what to do, constantly put them in that position of entertainee, constantly make jokes, force them to watch, force them to listen to things. This will really upset them as they kind of want their freedom of choice. They want to do what they want. They want to go their own way. They don't want to be, pointed in a direction. So this is something that will upset them. Second function for an ESTP is TI. So if you constantly tell them what you think and critique them and criticize them and think poorly of them, this will really upset an INFJ as well. They want to have their own thoughts. They want to be able to think things. If you snub them out, if you kind of belittle their thoughts or you think over them, that's something that will upset them as well. So if you kind of act in this way, it can definitely work in a negative effect where it will make an INFJ upset. Another thing that you could do or you shouldn't do is inhibit their subconscious functions. INFJs, they want to be the one who speaks their mind. They want to be the one who's entertaining others, in the center of attention, who's able to impress people. And if you inhibit this, it'll really upset them. So if they're trying to, show off their skills and you belittle it or make fun of them, if they're trying to look a certain way or do a certain thing in front of other people, and you go out of your way to, make them look bad, you try and take them out of the spotlight and be in the spotlight yourself, that will really upset them. If they're saying what they think, if they're, discussing their ideas and their philosophies on life, and you constantly disagree, you constantly try and, belittle their thoughts, that is something that will definitely cause rage inside of them. Another thing that really makes INFJs upset is when people act with no moral integrity or character. These types are soul temple, they're character focused, and they have FE as their second function. So they're looking for moral character at all times. They're looking for people who behave morally. And if you act kind of amorally, you act, you kind of do whatever you want, and you're not necessarily considering the ramifications of your character or whether what you're doing is good, that will really upset them, because they'll see injustice, they'll see, immorality, and they'll kind of take a righteous fury stance against you. So it's something that you'd want to avoid doing, is acting without a heart. Since INFJs have introverted intuition as their hero function, they're always going their own way. They have their own path, their own purpose, their own mission. And one thing that will definitely make them dislike you is if you inhibit that path, if you inhibit their purpose. They have that kind of grand vision for their life, what they want to do, who they want to be, where they want to go. And if you inhibit this, or you kind of doubt them, you assume they're going to fail, you assume they don't know what they're doing, that they're not planning ahead, this is going to upset an INFJ, as they do have that vision, they do have that strategic plan, and when people don't support them or have faith in them or follow them, it's definitely something that will make them upset. And back to an INFJ's introverted thinking, they look to tell the truth, they look to be honest to people, they're trying to have that integrity. So if you assume they're lying to you, you assume that they're trying to manipulate you or doing something with selfish intent, this is something that will definitely upset an INFJ, as they're trying to be selfless, they're trying to have good intentions, and they're trying to be honest. So if you assume things about them, you assume they're being, selfish, you assume that they're being dishonest and that they're saying something that's not true to you, you're really calling their integrity and you're calling their intentions into question, and that's something that's not going to go over well with an INFJ. And with that integrity, with those intentions, with that plan in mind, another thing that INFJs hate is when people betray them, when people go behind their back. INFJs are trying to have those good intentions. They're trying to pick the best path, go the best direction, be selfless. And so when people betray them or take, their good intentions for granted, and they kind of go behind their back and they're sneaky, that's something that will really upset INFJs, as they want that loyalty, they want that consistency in others, they want to have people have faith in them, they want people to support them. So when people pull that rug out from under them and kind of go behind them and betray them, this is something that will really upset an INFJ. INFJs really do try to have those good intentions and make those good decisions. So another thing that can kind of upset them is when people, make chaotic decisions, when people, decide things against them, when people are disagreeable in this way. But an INFJ is trying to make the best choice possible and somebody else is making bad choices, somebody else is being irresponsible. this can make an INFJ kind of feel uncertain about things, and they can feel insecure, and they can feel like the in a chaotic realm because people are making decisions that aren't very smart, they're not very good, and this will kind of, cause an INFJ to be upset because they don't know how to deal with that situation. INFJs are feeling types as well, so they do have high feeling functions. They can feel lots of guilt if they hurt someone, but they can also feel a lot of sadness and shame with their FI critic, and so they do want to be cared about. They want people to still care about their feelings, even though INFJs may self-deprecate and put themselves down and not care about their own feelings. They do want people to care about their feelings as well. So this can be something that will make them dislike you. If you're constantly rude, you're constantly criticizing them, like I said before, if you're constantly going out of your way to hurt their feelings and, make fun of them and take away their opportunity to shine, it will make them feel bad and it will make them dislike you. And along these lines, pressuring, stressing them, telling them what to do, you don't want to put an INFJ in that zone where they're constantly being told what to do and critiqued and made to feel bad and, bossed around. INFJs want the freedom. They want creative freedom. They want their own path. They want to be able to do their own thing. And so when people tell them what to do all the time, and they're criticizing them and they're being very belittling, this is something that will definitely not go well with them. INFJs really care about being, wanted by others, and they also really care about having other people experience them. They want to be in that attention space. They don't always want to be the center of attention because that might be too much for an INFJ, but they want to at least have people acknowledge them and notice them. They don't want to be completely ignored. So when it comes to their ability to be accepted by people and be given positive SI feedback, this is something that's a bit of a soft spot for INFJs. So rejecting them outright, telling them, I don't want you, or I don't have a good time with you, or I don't find you funny or enjoyable or a good experience, this is something that will definitely hurt their feelings quite a bit. And so the act of kind of completely cutting them off or rejecting them is definitely something that will make an INFJ kind of respond in kind and say, okay, you're cutting me off, I'm going to cut you off, because this is something that really hurts their ego. They're extroverted, sensing, aspirational. It's trying to gain, the experiences of others, and so when they're cut off from this, it can be very upsetting. INFJs want to gain that support. They want to gain that from other people so that people can follow them and support their dreams towards what they think the best path is. Since INFJs have that vision, and they're very hopeful about the future, they see the best path forward. They can be pretty annoyed when people are hopeless about the future, when people assume things will go wrong and have a give up mentality and act cowardly. This can really upset INFJs because they want to be courageous. They want to, look to the future with independence. They want to be able to have hope and change things. And so when people say things are unchangeable or want to give up, this is something that will definitely rub INFJs the wrong way. And finally, the last thing you don't want to do, or you do want to do if you want to make an INFJ hate you, is exclude them socially. INFJs are social people, obviously all the types are, but INFJs are relationship focused. They're NF types. They care about their social relationships quite a bit, and they definitely need that. And if you exclude them from that, if you go out of your way to say, we don't want you, we're rejecting you, that's something that's going to hurt an INFJ quite a bit, as they want to be connected to people. They want to be able to do things for others and help people, and use their intelligence to kind of help, people's lives become better. And so if you exclude their opportunities to do this and you isolate them, this is something that won't go over well. So I hope this explains, some of the different ways that INFJs may dislike you. And if you want an INFJ to like you, obviously do the opposite of these. And if you want any other videos on this topic, if you want any other videos on INFJs, let me know in the comments down below, and please subscribe and hit the bell because it helps the channel a lot. And I hope you all have a great day.